Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my still somewhat newish Buffalo Bills franchise mode series right here on Madden 19. Now, I didn't think it would take 3 episodes, although the first episode, of course, was a much smaller setup episode, but still, technically, this is episode 3. I didn't think it would take this long to kind of get things set up and established. It has, but regardless, we are ready to begin Season 1. I wanted to take my time in those early stages, get your feedback as far as what we should do, how we should look to set up this team, and how we should move forward. And this is what I've come up with. So, quite a few things have changed about this team, but it is set. We have let go quite a few of the free agents that we ended up signing. I was going to say rookies, and I'm like, that is not the right word, although a couple of them were rookies. Dez Bryant, I let him go. We'll talk about, of course, what the really, we could talk about it now. Wide receiver-wise, we're carrying Benjamin, Curley, Coleman, Holmes, and Jones. Dez Bryant would push Holmes or Jones out of the lineup, and even then it would push Coleman or Curley down to like the 4th spot. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to bring him in unless I start moving around other players. That's just not a rabbit hole I want to go down at the moment. We let go of some other guys, of course, who are really kind of fringe players on the team to begin with. We let go of Navarro Bowman. A big reason for that, linebacker-wise, we can now set up Alexander, Edmonds, and Hughes as our main 3 linebackers. I wanted to make sure that Edmonds got that playing time, and he wouldn't have if we had kept Bowman. Same thing with Jonathan Hankins, who I believe goes up to like an 87 at defensive tackle, but I wanted to make sure that the defensive line, Murphy on the left end, Lawson on the right end, Williams at defensive tackle. We are running the 4-3, so this will hopefully give Phillips a chance, who I don't plan on getting rid of. This will hopefully give him a chance to move forward. James was depth. Ended up letting go of Muhort. It was pointed out, of course, he ended up retiring, so let him go. And, I mean, people were let's just say, not argumentative. People were divided on whether or not we should have kept Richie Incognito. I felt it was easier to just move on. So this is, of course, going to be the team. We are going to start off the year with Josh Allen as our quarterback, and we're going to try to make this work with Josh Allen for as long as we can. I'm not going to give up on him within 2 seasons or so, unless there's like a can't-miss prospect in the draft, and we have one of those high-end picks. So we're sticking with Josh Allen for now. LaShawn McCoy, of course, the running back. Darkwa is one of 2 of the free agent signings that we are keeping, along with Webster, the cornerback. So we'll see what happens with LaShawn McCoy. Of course, if we're not that good, it might be worth trading him at 30 years old and getting the most out of that value and looking for a replacement in the draft. I like Darkwa, but he's 26. I'm not sure how much better he is going to end up being. Wide receiver, of course, we already know how that's set up now without Dez Bryant here. We have our main 5, and we'll see what Benjamin can do. I have a feeling if they didn't trade for Corey Coleman, I would have kept Dez Bryant, but just makes sense that way. Clay and O'Leary. O'Leary's 26, but he does have that quick development, so of course we are going to continue to give him a chance. And moving forward, I did change up the staff a little bit, and the main focus right now of our new scout is the offensive line. That is absolutely our major point of emphasis in terms of early scouting, is to try and improve this offensive line. Defensively as well, and I mean, really, we need help everywhere, but defensively, we're still looking all right. Again, it's going to be Murphy with Shaq Lawson. Kyle Williams, of course, will stay. He's another one of those guys like McCoy, though, where if we're struggling, I personally, if I was a Bills fan, I'd want to see him go to a contender and maybe win a Super Bowl. That's just me, though. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Harrison Phillips isn't going anywhere, of course. He'll get some playing time, but he's not going to be a starter immediately. And then, of course, as I said, Alexander, Tremaine Edmonds, and Jerry Hughes are the 3 linebackers we're going to be rolling with in this 4-3. Webster and Tre'Davious White and Kayvon Webster. I can find the names. That was really weird. It's fine, though. Webster, of course, is the other free agent signing, as pointed out. And, of course, we have an injury right now to Gaines, so corner depth is looking a little bit weaker. And then safety-wise, we are golden for the considerable for the considerable future. So overall, what do I expect from this team? Not entirely sure. Overall, do I expect people to agree with every decision and getting rid of guys like Des Bryant? Not entirely sure, but again, I wanted to use players who are here, and at the very least, Darkwa and Webster are two guys that it makes sense to keep. And just to give you an update, as I hit the wrong button, boy, don't I love when I do that. I just wanted to get you a look at the new staff. Of course, McDermott's still here. That's not going to change. But there you see we ended up bringing in York as the scout with an O-line specialty, and we ended up bringing in a world-class trainer. So, yeah, or at least regression is world-class. So hopefully he can keep our veterans better for longer. So again, that is the team. We are good to go. The one thing I did not discuss, though, as far as this series goes, as we pick up an injury, that's great. Can't imagine who it's going to be. The one thing I didn't discuss, though, obviously, if you've watched me play through Madden, particularly on Twitch, you'll know, and if you watch any other of my series, you'll know, I'm more about making progress, going season after season, as opposed to playing every game. But I can't help but think, obviously, 17 weeks, it might just be worth jumping into every game, simming to like the fourth quarter, and maybe on occasion jumping into the game, or at the very least jumping into it and seeing what happens. There are different ways I could handle every game in the recap. Want your opinion on that as to whether or not I normally wouldn't play a second of any game. That might still be the way I end up handling it. I'll leave that up to you guys. Let me know for sure. Who is this injury, though? Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I don't think I've ever wanted to restart an episode as badly as this one, but the problem is, this is technically an online franchise. LeSean McCoy breaks his ankle in week 4 of the preseason and is out for the season. Wow. You can't make this shit up. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to talk here, but I'm nearly speechless. Oh, EA, why? Why do you hate me? LeSean McCoy out for the season. It's looking like Darkwa might be the guy, unless we make a trade. That is still absolutely horrific. Apparently we ended up signing Carter. Is he a running back? He is not. I don't know who that guy is. It's okay that he was signed, because we still have a roster spot open. In the short term, wow, that is disastrous. In the short term, Spencer Ware is available, as is Jeremy Hill. Jeremy Hill is a current scheme fit as well. Not that we couldn't change up the scheme based on, who we actually end up signing. If Spencer Ware is better suited for something else, then again, I think I want the offense to be the same. I guess we're going to sign Jeremy Hill. Oh my God. I cannot believe that just happened. I was feeling good about this team, feeling good about how we were set up, and just for the sake of me not wanting to trade any roster players and not wanting to trade any picks, we're going to sign Jeremy Hill for the moment. LeSean McCoy out for the season. No, oh my God. I mean, then again, even in the preseason, no guarantees that I could have, completely prevented him from playing. The AI, of course, could do whatever the hell it wanted. That is disastrous. So Orleans Darkwa is going to be the main man for us this season. I talked about being unsure of his development. We're going to put that to the test now, because he is our starter. If it turns out that we actually end up being a half-decent team, maybe then we'll look at making a trade, but that is... wow, that is unfortunate. So again, we're in one of these situations where it's like, do I just want to sim the week, or do I want to jump in and just kind of get a look at what goes on? Of course, I can look at the stats after the fact. I think, I don't know. Let's jump into this game. Like I said, I'll give you a look at what I've been doing, and of course, if you've been watching me and following the Lions run that I've been doing on Twitch, you'll pretty much know how we've been handling this. Jumping into every game, every week, And in clutch moments, we'll jump in and try to save the day, often to mixed success. But for the most part, in my series, whether it's NHL or MLB for that matter, I don't really like to play the moments. I like to see if the team that we have built can actually end up just getting the job done, despite the fact that the random nature of the sim can do some weird things at times. So we have options. I'll leave that up to you guys as far as how we handle this. Maybe we save the whole jumping in moment for the playoffs. That might be a better way to handle it, although who knows when we'll actually see what the hell is going to happen. So let's go ahead and sim to the end of the first quarter, and we are down 7-0. Baltimore takes the early lead. So far, so good in terms of it not being glitched out. It is a 7-yard touchdown pass to Michael Crabtree. That is the difference maker thus far. We'll see if we can get back into this game. I cannot believe that we are without LeSean McCoy. That's incredible. Let's sim to halftime. Can we get on the board? Hopefully we can. There was a turnover there that prevented them from scoring. The score holds. 7-0 still at halftime. There were definitely some moments there. I want to take a look. I know for a fact there was an interception or a fumble. Tre'Davious White with an interception. Returned it for 82 yards, and we still didn't get points out of it. That is unbelievable. I simply don't understand how that happens. I'm shocked, but alrighty then. That is what it is, huh? We do get the ball to start the second half. Let's see if we can get off to a better start here in this second half. And apparently not. 14-0 Baltimore. We are in just a tad bit of trouble. We'll go possession by possession here. We'll see if we can. Oh my God. 21-0. 21-0. You know, I could jump into this and probably not save the day even if I tried, as it's a turnover on downs. Baltimore gets the ball at our 25. And it's now 28-0. Again, this is a situation where even if I jump in, I think we're DOA. This was the worst case scenario. Can we at least get on the board? Thank God we do. We at least don't get shut out to begin the season. I am going to go ahead and more than change of possession. See if we can force 3 and out. We cannot. They kill the clock. 28-7. Baltimore takes it. We started off this episode, the first 8 minutes or so, with a little bit of optimism. LeSean McCoy goes down, and we struggle mightily. Jackson gets the win. We'll take a look here. And yeah, clearly Lamar Jackson had a much, much better game. We'll take a look here. So Allen was 17-38 with 189 yards, 1 touchdown. So it was at least a touchdown pass, the first of his career. I had a feeling it was going to be a rushing touchdown. It was not. Not surprising because we had nothing for a running game. We just didn't run the ball, which is shocking. 11 yards on 4 carries for Darkwa, 14 yards on 4 carries for Cadet. And then receiving yards, Benjamin, 4 receptions, 52 yards. Who ended up catching that touchdown pass? It was Andre Holmes, who had 2 receptions for 34 yards. Blocking-wise, our offensive line really did their best impression of a turnstile. Dawkins allows 2 sacks. Miller, DeMarco, Ducasse, and Bodine all allow a sack in that game. And you can tell, clearly, by the amount of tackles, we didn't have the ball that much. Webster and Murphy, both in double digits. And we got to Jackson once. Trent Murphy with a sack in that game. White with the interception that, again, we just could not do anything with. A very frustrating game. Hauschka never even attempted a field goal. We struggled that much on offense, and one has to wonder, would it be down to the scheme, or was it just down to the Baltimore defense. Like, what happened there to cause that to be as bad as it was? But case in point here, if we were to sim week, we would be able to at least take a look at the stats as well if we wanted to. So different ways we can handle this, of course, but a 28-7 loss in week 1. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. We have the Chargers next. I mean, as far as the scheme fit goes, we're still looking okay. I mean, it still fits Allen quite well. I don't know. That's a tough one. Obviously, the running game is a pretty big factor. And whether or not we can get that going with Darkwa is the question. For the moment, I think we'll stick with it. We'll just chalk it up as a rough start to the season. The Chargers picked up a victory in week 1. Let's go ahead and I think we'll advance week. Maybe. Actually, jump into it, maybe. I'm indecisive on this, right? Because I'm not sure how much progress I want to make in this episode. I think we'll jump into it for now. And if it turns out to be a bit too slow moving as far as actually making progression, we'll just jump into going week by week and seeing the end results. But not the way that we wanted to start things off at all, of course. Hopefully we can have a better week here. Hopefully the defense can have a better week. The offensive line. I didn't expect the defense to really break as much as they did. As far as giving up, 5 sacks in that game? Not all that surprised with the offensive line, the way it's looking. Even if we brought in a Richie Incognito and kept him, it was going to be rough for Allen in terms of the amount of punishment he was going to take in the early stages of his career. Let's see what we can do here, though, against the Chargers. I will probably call them San Diego at least once because, let's be honest, they should still be. We'll see how this first quarter goes. Can we get on the board? No, we cannot. Yes, we can. Okay, that works at least. That was a lie. The Chargers get on the board first. We end up with a field goal to at least get on the board relatively early. Let's take a look. So it was a 23-yard rush by Melvin Gordon for the touchdown. That isn't great. 42-yard field goal for Hauschka to bring us back to within 4. We'll sim to halftime. Let's see what's happening there. Chargers with another touchdown. We get a touchdown of our own, 14-10. Now 14-13. And that is how we'll begin the second half. So a much, much better second quarter for us. Still trailing in this game, though. 4-yard touchdown pass to Keenan Allen. Let's see, next possession was a 9-yard touchdown pass to Kelvin Benjamin. From there, we had a 55-yarder from Hauschka. Solid stuff there. And that was the end of the first half. So again, 14-13, a much more competitive game thus far. Can we keep it up heading into the second half? Yes, we can, and we can take the lead. 19-14. Chargers end up with a field goal, but we take the lead heading into the fourth quarter. Don't look now. The Bills have a lead in this game. What did it end up being? And by the way, again, I hate that the score is glitched out on the side. It's so annoying, and I hate it so much. Hauschka actually missed a 28-yard field goal after a Micah Hyde interception. So Darkwa ended up with the 3-yard rush. We failed a 2-point conversion. We end up getting the ball back, and then Hauschka misses a 28-yarder. So, boy, praised him for hitting the 55-yarder, but he could very well go down as the GOAT in this game, not in a good way. After that mistake, that could very well cost us as the Chargers march downfield 24-19. Oh boy. I mean, granted, we'd still be losing, but, granted, I think it'd be nice to be able to hit a field goal and potentially win this game. Or, we can march downfield, score a touchdown, 25-24 with 9:09 to go. That works too. Back and forth game here, which kind of scares me as we force the punt. We get possession back with 7:36 to go. Can we deliver? No, we cannot. We are forced to punt. 5:26 to go on the clock. And a 10-yard reception for Keenan Allen to begin. Would you like to back me out to change the possession? Thank you very much. As They end up with a field goal, 27-25, with 1:31 to go. And of course, this would be an example of jumping into the game, which normally I wouldn't in series of mine. We have the option to do so, and one could argue that it wouldn't even be that smart for me to jump into this, because without LaShawn McCoy, it might be better for us to not be anywhere close to winning, so that we could end up with the extra draft pick. But you know, I say, let's have a little bit of fun for once, and let's see if we can complete this comeback. 1:31 on the clock, starting at our own 25. We have all 3 timeouts. Let's see what we can do. Hopefully we can do well. We just play the short ball. Might not have been the best call. Allen has a solid game so far. Solid game so far. With 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. So move Cadet over. And I think I'm all right with the play action. Let's see what we can do here, Allen. See what we can do. I'm not liking any of this. I love that catch from Coleman, though. Might have had the chance deep downfield. I was a little bit afraid to go there. And to be honest, the safety's kind of held back once that throw was made. So it might have looked like a bit more of a wide open play than it actually was. Let's have Cadet block, and let's see what we can do here. Clock's running. Oh, God. Yep, we're going down. Nobody open in time. We'll call that timeout. Okay, we're on our own 38, 2nd and 16. Not what we were hoping for, but we still have time. We still have 2 timeouts. We just have to go into field goal range, or imagine if we hit a 28-yard field goal, per se. We'd actually be winning and would be able to start winding down the clock as Allen flubs a very simple pass. I have no idea why he missed that badly, but he did. A wide open guy. I'm not going to be able to watch the replay, am I? Can I please watch that replay? I don't understand how we missed this. Simple throw. He just overthrows him terribly. Wide open as well. Oh, boy. We missed a chance, though. Obviously. Well, in fairness, tough to see at this exact moment as he's in double coverage. I mean, obviously, the second we throw it, he looks a hell of a lot more wide open on the left-hand side. Still, we're in a little bit rough of a situation here. Can we get out of it? I'm going to send Benjamin deep here. Let's see if we can hit play, hopefully. Yeah, and nobody open again. Right. See, this is what I was talking about. On occasion, things just might not go my way. I know the clock's running. Dangerous to let it run. We'll see what we can do here, though. I mean, this is the game right here as our offensive line not exactly doing well in terms of giving us time. We'll go for the deep ball. We can't get it. And that will do it. Steven Hauschka, I'm going to blame you more than I'm going to blame myself, because that would have been a much different scenario had you just simply hit a 28-yard field goal. But you couldn't do it. And the Chargers come to Buffalo and walk away with a 27-25 victory. As you know, I may have overlooked my ability to make plays when that offensive line, again, are doing their best turnstile impression at this point in time. Little bit difficult to overcome that. Allen, for the most part, had a solid game, though. 29 for 45, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Solid effort. Just could not get it done. Darkwa, boy, our running game just hasn't happened yet. 42 yards on 13 carries, and as it is, the running game isn't that well finely tuned, it seems, to begin this game. Benjamin had a solid game, though. 13 receptions, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. But it was all for naught as Dawkins allowed another 3 sacks that game. He's arguably our best, and I'm pretty sure he is, overall-wise, our best offensive lineman. And he is getting shredded. Micah Hyde had a solid game. So we ended up with a couple of sacks that game as well, and the 1 interception. So Micah Hyde had a fantastic game. And we still fell short. Why? Because somebody missed a 28-yard field goal. Thanks. Thank you. boy, I am... Is it wrong to say that I'm tempted to cut him? I'm kind of tempted to cut him. Why not? I kind of view that as unacceptable, missing a 28-yard field goal. If it was, if you were pressured, sure. I went auto upgrade there, too, for the hell of it. If you were pressured, sure. But, I just don't know if there's an excuse, as we will get to handle scouting here for the first time. Let's take a look at what contract negotiations are coming up. Oh, Jesus, Kelvin Benjamin and Kyle Williams. Right, that Benjamin contract is going to be massive, which for an 84, you could argue would be worth it. How much are we looking at here? You know what? That's actually not that bad. A 7.5 cap hit, that's actually pretty solid. I'm willing to accept that if he is. That's a pretty big if, though. This will bring him up until he's 31. I think I'm okay with that. Is he okay with it? No, he is not. That is unfortunate. And then Kyle Williams, I'll offer him a contract. Whether or not he ends up, retiring or not, I suppose, is another question. Is he good with this? He is. So we'll see if Kyle Williams is back next year. I'd imagine that he would be. And unfortunately, we don't have those extra points at the moment in terms of scouting. It would be nice to have those extra 25 points. In terms of an upgrade package, we're not anywhere close. We need to get expert scouting unlocked ASAP. And unfortunately, the worse this team is, the less likely the less likely we're to get it at this point. As we established, we are going to be using the imported draft class from the franchise guys, so let's do that. Go ahead and use this draft class and see who we end up with. So, of course, guys like Nick Bosa are going to be there, Drew Lock, and numerous others. But our main focus, of course, is on the offensive line. And really, I think we're just going to go across the board from left tackle to right tackle. We're going to look for every goddamn option we can possibly find, because we need to make this work. Now, here's the thing. In terms of some of these players, I do kind of know what they end up looking like. Of course, because I've used this draft class before, so I kind of know what Thorsten and Locke look like. But there are, of course, going to be certain guys that I have no idea what the hell they're going to look like, nor will I remember. And offensive line-wise, I'm still not entirely sure with some of these guys. Not to mention, though, he may have changed a few things about the draft class. But regardless, let's start on left tackle. Hope we can end up with someone half-decent. And unfortunately, Jonah Williams really isn't that great. A B minus, and a C. That's not really someone we're going to look at targets. Greg Little, God, he's a little bit better, but he's still not great. This might not be all that great of a draft for us. Leonard Frederick is there. Will Engelberger. I keep hitting the wrong button for some reason. Again, a B minus, and a C plus. Not great necessarily. Now, am I going to be looking to draft for scheme only? Not really. I'm okay with trying to get somebody else onto the team as long as I think they can actually help. Which, I don't plan on looking at any undrafted guys coming up. Of course, some people will probably end up, I'm pretty sure, like, the info's out there for what certain people are going to end up being. I don't really have interest in looking and cheating in that regard, outside of the information I already have. And in terms of scouting any undrafted players, not really planning on it. So when it comes to left tackles, it pretty much begins and ends with Greg Little and Leonard Frederick. Not that I'm against changing up player positions, though. Left guard is where we're going to have the most potential. Michael Dieter is looking pretty damn good. What about Roman Jacobs? Again, that C+, it kind of ruins it. And that's all we can do for the moment. So we have a couple of targets so far. Obviously, it's going to take us quite a few weeks to get through every single offensive line option. And when it comes to this next game, again, I don't really envision us making any changes. This lineup was set up in basically the best way possible. Problem is, we're a 75 overall team, 73 offense, 81 defense. It's just more about getting some of these guys to develop and hoping for the best from there. Let's jump into this game against the Vikings. They are 1-1. The team that finished runner-up in the voting. So this very well could have been a Viking series. Was not meant to be. We end up going with the Bills. Can we end up with some bragging rights here out of this game? The answer is probably no. I'm not sure how confident I can possibly be in this team right now. It is only 0-2. It's early. We have time to turn this around. But obviously, some underperforming players, an underperforming kicker, a star running back is gone. Things haven't exactly gone well for us in this episode. So like I said, next episode, whether or not we just focus solely on simming and not jumping into the games, we can easily do that, especially to make the most development possible. But let's see what this game's looking like by the end of the first quarter. So we're trading some offensive opportunities. We get the opening points, an opening field goal, and that was the only strike of the first quarter. Let's see how we look closer to halftime. Not exactly going to get too excited yet. We got a long way to go as Minnesota ties it. And that is how a very exciting, definitely a very exciting first half will end. Tied at 3. Boy, fans are getting their money's worth here in Minnesota today, aren't they? Let's see. We start off, oh boy, okay, so we started off the third quarter with a field goal. The Vikings strike, though, 10-6 as we head into the fourth. Do we have a bit of an offensive touch, please? We do not. Unfortunate. Another wasted possession there. As Micah Hyde, with an interception, we're on the 21. Good opportunity here after the interception. Micah Hyde's been tremendous so far this season. We end up getting within 1 point here. 10-21 to go. Can our defense show up here and get the stop? Yes, they can. Big moment here. Big drive coming up with just over 8 minutes to go. We're down by a point. I'm just going to ask if you get the opportunity to blow this game. Please don't. Please don't. And there we go. He drills a field goal, 12-10, with 4 minutes to go. Do we have what it takes to hold on? That is my question. Let's see what we can do here. 1st and 10, and we take a 5-yard penalty. Solid. 13-yard pass to Stephon Diggs. 2-yard reception for Latavius Murray. 2nd and 8. 25 yards for Kendall Wright. And methinks we're in trouble. 4-yard rush there. They're on the 6 here. 2nd and goal. Pass is knocked away. 3rd and goal on the 6. Touchdown Vikings. Latavius Murray. 1:33 now. 1:28 to go. Do we have what it takes? I'm not going to jump in this time. We're down by 5. Can the team get it done? Let's find out, shall we? So 1st and 10, and the pass is thrown away. 2nd and 10, 12-yard reception to Jeremy Curley. Solid. 57 seconds to go. 1st and 10 on the 31, incomplete pass. 2nd down. Pass is knocked down. 3rd and 10 from our own 31, and a 15-yard reception for the tight end, Charles Clay. Fortunately, we're low on time. We're on our own 45 with 25 seconds to go. We need a big play here. Can we get it? Allen's pass is thrown away. 17 seconds to go. And that's it. That's it. I'm not sure what happened there and how those last 17 seconds were burned. We fall short. I was honestly, after that one play, I was going to jump into the game and just see if I could watch it, but that'll do it. The Vikings take this Week 3 matchup. We fall to 0-3 on the season. 17-12 final. Allen with just, I want to say an abysmal rating, but Kirk Cousins, 25 of 54. No touchdowns, no picks. Cousins, 15 of 32, 233 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Murray, 150 yards. Darkwa, 22 attempts, 72 yards in that game. Receiving-wise, Diggs had an incredible game. Curley, Clay, and Benjamin were all quite good, but not good enough. We gave up 2 sacks in that game. Thank you very much, Newhouse and Mills. Defensively, Anthony Barr had himself a game. Davis and Pitts were up there for us. Micah Hyde as well in terms of tackles. Jerry Hughes with the sack in that game, the only one for us. Interceptions for Hyde and Poyer, but unfortunately we were not able to capitalize. And Steven Hauschka, 4 for 4, redeems himself. Wasn't good enough as the offense just could not get going. And again, we find ourselves to be in just a tad bit of trouble. We, of course, have the what if as to whether or not we'd be 0-3 if LaShawn McCoy was here. The problem is he's not, and we are in just a tad bit of trouble as we head to week 4, where we will be playing Green Bay. We have a little bit more scouting to take care of. We have some players to re-sign as well. For now, though, I'm going to end it here. That'll give you guys an opportunity to give your feedback on everything that's happened in this episode in terms of the moves we made to set up the team, the McCoy injury, how we should handle simming the games, whether or not we like the way I've handled it for the most part, or we just want to go all-out progress, whether or not I'm allowed to jump in the games, which I probably won't. It's an unfortunate spot that we find ourselves in. Again, being 0-3. We're not the only 0-3 team, and of course, it's early. Chicago, Cleveland, Washington, and the LA Rams, all 3-0. Who would have thought? We are certainly not alone in our early struggles. It is not too late to turn things around, but we need this team to pick things up sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we might have to start asking ourselves, what about trading some of our better players and looking to really kind of retool and rebuild for the future? Williams, cough, cough, Williams. So thank you guys for watching. Looking forward to your feedback. As always, make sure to support the video, support the channel. We picked up a good amount of momentum thanks to Madden, which I'm appreciative for. Again, I should have had a Madden series last year. Don't know why I didn't. I'm enjoying the hell out of Madden this year. Some things, of course, are a little bit strange, but it is what it is. You come to expect it. I'm excited for this series, though. And again, I hope you still feel the same way. Looking forward to your feedback. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Goodbye for now.